Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Albion Online with your host, Blackboa here. The Crystal Arena in Albion Online is another wonderful feature that you can do in groups. There is the 5v5 Crystal Arena. There is the Crystal Leagues, which are set matches that earn season points for the victors. They are both lethal and non-lethal, and they come in 5v5 and 20v20 formats. And these are wonderful ways for guilds and others to come together and do group content. It's probably advised for new players to do the non-lethal Crystal Leagues first, if this is the type of content you'd like to get into, so that you can understand how to play your role, and then graduate to the more lethal content, as that is obviously a lot harder to deal with. To enter the arena, today we are going to be joined by two of my guildmates, Esnej and Babos. We will be doing what is known as the Crystal Arena. Now, in addition to the Crystal Arena here, which is 5v5, you also have a regular arena. If you're a brand new player, the regular arena is much better to do, simply because it is where people are just learning how to fight, learning how to use the mechanics. If you're brand new and you go to the Crystal Arena, you and your group, people would actually get quite annoyed if you are using, terrible builds, if you don't know what's going on. And because it's ranked, people actually care about their rankings. So if you are a newer group, start in the arena. Once you see that your chemistry is going well, then you can graduate into the Crystal Arena. You also have custom matches, which actually can create some very interesting scenarios here. As you can see, maximum team size, you could create even 10v10s in this scenario. You could have soft caps, you could do a style of a map, different maps, different 20v20, 5v5 maps. And it's actually quite interesting because you can actually invite the the leader of the party of the other team here to do a custom match between friends. So no matter what you want to do as a group or a guild, this arena tab is a very good tab for you because it includes both types of arenas as well as the custom match feature. Shortly we will be going into the Crystal Arena, but I'd like to show you something else first so that you understand the Crystal League side of things. So if you're interested in doing the Crystal Leagues, which are more time-based events, they happen at the same time every single day, you have to go to the Conqueror's Hall where you can find an energy manipulator. Now this is only if you're approaching this from the town perspective. If you're in a city, you go find your energy manipulator. However, hideouts can also have energy manipulators, so if you have a group of people with gear in a hideout, you can also do this from there. But let me just show you where it is. Generally speaking, when you open up the map here, you find this glowing portal for whatever city you're in, and you just walk right in. And as you walk down, you are not going to be going through the portal area. Do not go through the portal. The energy manipulator is right here on the side, and this is where all of the Crystal League adventures occur. So it shows you when the battles are happening. This one says 4 hours and it's lethal. It shows you the non-lethal 5v5s as well, and then it also shows you the 20v20 matches. Some of these happen, pretty far out. They don't happen very often. So there's the calendar of events. The second tab is where you purchase the token for the actual arena. So in order to even get into it, every party member that's in your party has to buy one of these tokens, and they must, I repeat, they must keep it in their inventory and not bank it anywhere, because once you go into the arena, it is consumed. But if you were to bank it somewhere before the timer that takes you into the arena expires, then it'll say, sorry, someone did not accept, and it won't even let you in. That means you missed an opportunity to have fun, and your teammates will frankly hate you and probably replace you with somebody else. No, I mean, well, I don't know, maybe some people would, honestly, but I wouldn't. I'd say if you do it again, I will, but I wouldn't do it right away. I'm a reasonable human being. As long as you're capable of learning, I will help you grow and succeed. So that is that's how you buy them. Now make sure that you're buying the right one, either non-lethal or lethal. Otherwise, you'll be entering a place where you think it's non-lethal. By accident, you all buy the lethal tokens and you're wearing your shiny 8.3 gear, and you just get completely shit on. You don't want that to happen, do you? So make sure you look at non-lethal versus lethal here. Choose the right token. Now, these actually go up to a very high number. I believe they go up to Crystal Championships are like level 9, right? I believe it's either level 8 or level 9 is the highest level for these tokens. How do they get to that level? Pretty much as you win a match in these crystal leagues, you get an upgraded token of the equivalent type that you use. So if you went to a crystal token 5v5 level 3 and you won your match, every member of your team would receive a level 4 token. When the level 4 event happens and you go and you win again, that 4 will turn into a 5, 5 into a 6, 6, 7, 8 into a 9, etc. So just understand that you can only buy tokens at a certain lower level, but some of them can only be earned through victory. And as you go up on these tiers, these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you will end up earning a ton of rewards at the end, because a lot of teams do this for two reasons. Why would you want to do Crystal League? Number one, it does count pretty heavily towards season points, and if your guild is a seasonal contender, like we could see Paura overseas Chinese headquarters, I guarantee you that all these top guilds are doing some form of Crystal League activities to give them some of these points. There's definitely some form of that going on to help them get stronger. So that's a big reason. The second reason is at the end of every match, there is a chest that you get to open if you are the victor. And inside that chest is a lot of silver pouches, potential artifact pieces, and other goodies. So pretty much it's a very good thing to do if you want to make money. But as you can see, it is only at a set period of time. The Crystal Arena, which we'll go back to momentarily, that is the one that you could spam all day long if you wanted to, just to kind of get used to 5v5 content, get your group better at it, and eventually graduate to the Crystal League content. But to be honest, you may as well sign up for the non-lethal Crystal League content right away, because you're not going to lose anything, right? Whatever gear you've been using in the Crystal Arena, you can go and figure out what time it's going to be in the Crystal League. Just get a team together, go in a non-lethal to start, and who knows, maybe you guys do win and you do get those pouches, or if nothing else, you'll learn a lot together and expand your camaraderie and expertise. So let's head back to the Crystal Arena, where we will queue up as a three-man team. In Crystal Arena, you can either queue as a solo, a duo, a trio, or a 5-man squad. Unfortunately, the 4-man queue is unavailable. It would just be too hard to match the games at that point. So you have 1-man queue, 2-man queue, 3-man queue, 5-man queue. We are going to do a 3-man queue, and just some general thoughts about this. When you're queuing as a 3-man, you're going to want to have one of your party members be a healer if possible. Why? Healers get the fastest queue times, and they're always the hardest thing to match up in the matchmaking of the Crystal Arena. So if you already are solving for the issue of the healer, then your queues will be much faster. Additionally, you may want to have someone with a druid cowl. That individual would essentially be responsible for having mana for the healer and the other party member if possible, but mainly the healer and themselves, so that you can ensure mana is not an issue. Lastly, I would also say in a trio, you may want to not all be very ranged DPS. You may wish to have a melee or a tank come with you. Ideally, a tank would be ideal with a swap of gear just in case there's a tank already on your squad. But yeah, the ideal team would be healer, DPS, ranged, and tank, or melee DPS. So we're about to do this. As you go to the arena, you click on the Crystal Arena and it automatically selects your role based on the weapon you're using. Now, this is very important. I know that many of you love nature staves and how amazing they are at DPSing when you use the DPS skills, but please do not use them in the arena, because what happens is this: you have one healer on your squad, then you have you. The moment you use any of your healing, you cast a massive debuff for your whole party, meaning everyone is now receiving less heals because there's two healers healing the same people. So please, for the love of God, I love nature staff too. I use it in full loot, I use it out in the open world. I'd marry it if I could, but do not bring it in as a DPS. You'll ruin the time of everybody there. Thank you. Now, all we got to do is click sign up here, and we see that we have a Crystal Arena sign up. Once the queue starts counting, there will be some time, and then look, we are ready. So that is that. We'll see you inside, and we will show you the fighting perspective. I'll try to give you any tips as I see them. Careful, Babos, come back with me. Keep cutting back, keep cutting back. Kill that guy. There you go. Alright, cap. Someone go back and cap. Yes, we can get a... Here, come back. We don't want to camp this. So I don't know if you know, but Crystal Arena's changed where there's a longer timer, but the caps reset at the end of the timer. So once that timer goes down to 45, the arena is, you know, calculated to see who's kept the most points, and basically that's how that works. So usually you definitely don't want to camp, right? Just so you guys know, but usually we do never want to camp because this is how they can turn it around. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good not to do this. But it looks like they're fighting far enough where we could actually have a decent fight rather than getting killed by camp. I need mana. There we go, 55 RP, that's how we do it. Congratulations. So when you win, there's this screen here. You can either check the stats to see exactly what happened. There's two windows here. It shows you the assists, kills. The second window is more of a detailed window of what happened. You can check that and see if your team has done well versus the other team, and then you could use that as a way to try to improve your group overall. But yeah, once you're done with that, you just click OK, accept your rewards. Every day you get a victory pouch, 3 of them. You get 3 of these per day, but whether you win or lose, you always will get Tomes of Insight, whether you win or lose. If you win, you also get sealed royal sigils and other packages. So that's the Crystal Arena, and thank you for listening. So in the arenas, as you progress through the ranks, you get arena rank points that increase your ranking, and you also get various rewards for all these points as well. I believe there is an area where it shows what the season rewards are, unfortunately. There we go. As you rank up to these different places, you will begin to earn ranking points here. It goes from Iron 1 all the way up to Crystal, which is 4,000 RP. As you can see, our character, we just started in today's arena, 216 RP, so we have a ways to go, but as you progress, you will earn these chests. Now, next season, after this arena season ends in 73 days, the game remembers your last year's ranking, and when you start the next season, it doesn't start you all the way at the bottom. It'll start you somewhere probably within the bronze or silver range. I don't believe anyone starts gold, even if they get to crystal, but some might. But pretty much you would be within the bronze to silver range. And so as you do your first match next season, you would receive all of these reward chests again in your mail just after playing the first game, up until whatever your rank point is. Then you'd have to earn them over again. One other thing to also mention here is that many times we're a little bit overzealous on wanting to start the next game. It's super important that you ensure every member of your team that is about to queue with you is out of the arena before you queue. The reason being is if you queue too fast and someone is still in the arena maybe checking their stats, you would end up queuing with the people that were remaining in the party who did leave, but you would leave that other person out of your party. So it is something you don't want to do. It'll mess up your queue. It'll make you waste some time. Just always double check that these health bars are, you know, this color red. If you see them grayed out, that means someone has not left the arena yet. So before you start your arena, look at your party bar, make sure that everyone is not grayed out, and then you can click sign up. And as you can see, I mentioned earlier, you cannot queue with 4 people. It tells you that you can only queue with 1, 2, 3, or 5. Now that's pretty much it for the arena. It's a great practice ground for people to get into more advanced content, whether that be hellgating, whether that be 5v5 open world content. So the arena system is great for that. I also recommend that if you have a love for healing, you would love the arena because you would get instant queues. The queues for healer is pretty much God's work is what I call it, because you're the most needed class and many people don't like to use it. But if you love healing and you love arenas, sign up, you'll get instant queues and you'll be a very happy person. So yeah, let's get on to the next piece of content. The next activity I'd like to talk to you about is something that I hold near and dear to my heart called ganking. Specifically, we're going to be doing this in the Royal Continent, the red zone. It can be done anywhere. You could do it in the black zone, you could do it in the Roads of Avalon, you could even do it in the blue and yellow zones as a faction player or as a flagged player as well. However, the places that I prefer to go ganking are obviously the zones where full loot PvP is also involved. So if you want to get into ganking, the best way to do it would be practice in a yellow zone or practice through faction content in non-lethal areas. But once you begin to feel confident, or once you join a guild that will instill that confidence in you in order to come out with them in gank, you will be able to begin learning this content and earning money through ganking. But again, if you're a brand new group, you may want to try this in a yellow zone first. What makes a good ganking group? So a good ganking group has a ton of CC above all else. Obviously damage and mobility are very helpful, but pretty much you want crowd control as well as an adequate amount of execution damage and just damage in general. So what I prefer as the best build for me personally, I'm sure there's other people who would have different opinions on what the best ganking build is, but for me it's the double-bladed staff. The double-bladed staff is among the most mobile weapons in the game. It is among the most CC heavy weapons in the game, and recently it even became a pretty decent DPS brawler. It used to lack damage, but now with the Gale Dance it actually deals some damage. But for purposes of ganking, you will either be using the Whirling Strikes ability most likely, just to deal some damage while you chase your opponent down, or you could use Concussive Combo, which will stun the target on the third hit. The reason why I don't like Concussive Combo is because it was reworked recently and it feels really awkward to use. I hope in the future they make it better, but currently after you hit the target once, you cannot quickly hit the target again. It's a 3-hit combo, but it gives you a delay in terms of when you can actually hit the next target, which pretty much your target's going to get away from you at that point. So I don't see the benefit of Concussion Combo, so I've been using Whirling Strikes lately. Now, in addition to these skill sets here, you have the Soaring Swipe, which can leap towards an enemy and slows all enemies in a cone by 50%, an additional mobility skill as well as a catch mechanic. And then of course you also use Stunning Strikes. Every normal 10 attacks you stun the target. So to me, the double-bladed staff is the best shot calling weapon for ganking right now, which is why I'm using it, and which is why we'll go over kind of just the general rules of a gank group. So on top of this, we have Graveguard Armor. This Graveguard Armor has a Soul Chain ability where as I leap on top of somebody, I can link this on them, and then they will literally come back to me if they are sprinting away. If they're within a 30-meter radius, they're chained to me and they come back. It's a great CC, and it helps immensely on ganking people. Additionally, we are using the Purge on the Fiend Cowl because since my mobility will be so superior to theirs, I should be on top of them by the time they cast their sprint, and the moment I see a sprint cast, I cast the Purge ability and they no longer can run, which means death for them. I also am using the Hunter Shoes or the Initial Engage. The Hunter Shoes allow you to increase your speed by 120%, and they also increase the duration of your crowd control effects by 35% as well. So my Initial Engage is popping the rush, popping the stun run. If I can auto attack them without using my leap, that's great, but usually you're going to have to leap, so I basically will pop the rush, pop the stun run, leap on top of them to slow, press spacebar with the target selected to proc the stun run auto attack, and then I begin to chain them with my link. As they move away, I move away too, so that they can just come back and be pulled into my group. You will see this happen time and time again today when we gank. And then last but not least, after they get pulled back with the Graveguard Armor, they will likely cast their sprint, and the goal is to purge. This also is a very helpful cape. There's many options you could choose here. I know that this cape is going to be potentially different in the future, but right now it literally slows all the enemies within its reach, and it is activated with an auto attack. And so for that initial engage, I will literally have some decent opportunities to stop my opponents in their tracks. So on top of my build, it's good that other people have some follow-up CC. I'm going to look at Star Chaser for a moment. Star Chaser is using one of the better weapons for this. It's known as the Claws. The Disembowel literally will hold people into place while it deals exceptional damage and bleed damage, so that you can further stack on the punishment to an opponent that's immobilized. He's also using the Graveguard Armor, which is not a bad idea. Same with the shoes, same with the Fiend Cowl for the Purge. He's using Demon Cape because he has the ability to keep them in place, this drops a pool of lava at the feet of your opponent if you auto attack. So what you want to do is you auto attack first, proc the pool to go at the feet of the opponent, then you quickly press your E and it locks him on top of that pool of lava. The one thing to note is that the soul chain did get changed because it used to be an ability where you could just have 10 people constantly chaining the chain and pulling somebody away without any immunity. But as you can see on the soul chain, once pulled, an enemy becomes immune to another soul chain for 10 seconds. So it's important to note that I will likely be the first one to soul chain, and that Stargazer needs to understand he needs to wait for 10 seconds until he can use his if needed. So understand that that's changed recently. On top of that, if you have these two for CC, you're pretty much perfect on CC at that point. But let me just check who else we have with us. This is great. We have McStoned. He will have mobility as well as big damage, so it's always nice to see a bear paw. Babos will have the one-shot crossbow, where he is trying to one-shot an immobilized target. That's a very nice high damage execute. And Lisa also has some very high damage as well. If she can attack with her E on an immobilized target, it'll deal some big damage. So I like this group. It's not the largest group in the world. It's actually a good size. 5 is a good size, and we will kind of begin our little adventure here. Now that you know the group composition of a good ganking group, the next important thing for the group leader to do, the one who is going to be the main initiator, the tank CC, that role will be on me. One thing you want to do is you want to mark that person so that everyone knows who to follow. That will be helpful during the fight. To mark someone, you just left click on their portrait or right click on their portrait and you can mark them. So understand that's good. Also, they need to set the tone of the party. They need to understand that they're going to be the shot caller and they want to actually, set those rules, set what kind of loot split rules will be in effect, and ultimately say this to the group. So right now, I'm going to go back into Discord for the viewers who see this, and I'm going to give you one of those speeches so that you know kind of what to say. You don't have to say as much as I do. I probably am going to overdo it. I just want people to know exactly what I expect of them. So here we go. Let's do that little role play right now. All right, Savages, we are about to go on a massive adventure for some PvP here. As the shot caller of the group, I want to just lay some ground rules here. The first ground rule is you must follow all the shot calls that I make. I am the only one who is going to engage on a particular enemy. No one should act unilaterally. No one should act on their own to say, oh, over here, like, and then start sprinting. No, I'm the one who's going to be making that determination if we attack a target or not. Why is this important? I've had experience doing this for a very long time, and I could tell when there is a good fight, typically, and when there isn't. I could tell when it's a bait to make you attack them so that then a larger group comes and kills you. So until you gain that experience and you're the shot caller, please just follow what the shot caller says. We are going to be doing a loot split today. The loot split will be on our personal island in Caerleon. So after we are done, if you do not have access to that island because you are not in our guild, I will give you access so that you can then place that loot in the loot split. A couple of things are going to be very important here. I'm going to be asking you to dismount a lot, and we're going to be walking a lot so that we are in the best position to use our sprints and catch somebody and kill them. I'm also going to be asking you to mount up a lot. When I ask you to mount up, I want you to use your common sense. Yes, the call is to mount up. However, are you getting attacked by a mob that's going to stop you? Do you have a bleed on you? When the call is to mount up, you need to sprint away from any aggro that any mobs will be around, and you need to make sure that you don't have any bleeds so that if you try to mount up, you don't lose precious time in sprinting away and losing that debuff. So I'm going to make those calls, and you're going to have to use your brain as to how to actually do it in the best way to make you survive. Other things to consider here. As we go out, there may be times where one of us gets caught. We are a ganking group. We are not a fighting group. We are not here to fight people who are willing to fight us. This is not the purpose of this particular activity. A ganking group's purpose is to go out, try to kill someone who's not able to defend themselves, take their loot, and make profit. We are not there to fight anybody, and we do not have the builds to fight anybody, which is the most important piece. We would die against anybody who actually has a decent build. We also will die against healers. So even though we have numbers, we do not attack a two-man with a healer and a DPS. If one of our people gets caught, unfortunately, we're going to leave them there, because at the end of the day, it's a guerrilla tactics. It's us not being able to fight back, and if one person dies so that the rest can escape. That just has to be what it is. Never sacrifice yourself for the group. I may do that at times because I'm the guild master. I wouldn't recommend you do it because you may not know how to do so effectively. So just try to, you know, when the call is run, you run. Now at times I will be calling certain directions for us to head to an exit. When I say go to the northwest exit, you're going to head there. However, if you see hostiles chasing us that are dismounted in front of you or dismounting on top of you, number one, call it out to anyone who is behind you that, hey, they're dismounted. And number two, say turn around, because if you try to force your way through a gate when there's people dismounted in front of you ready to kill you, you will not make it. You will get dismounted, you will get CC'd, you will get annihilated. So when the call is to leave a certain exit, ensure that you understand if it's safe or not. If there's people in front of you, you want to turn around and not go there. We will catch up with you later, don't worry. But the point is, don't try to kill yourself just to be with us at all times. This is the general rules here. There may be other rules and other things that I point out if I see someone doing something that isn't the greatest, but those are the general rules. I suppose I could say another thing here too. I should be the one always in front. People should not be ahead of me, especially when we're dismounted. I want the enemy to only see my name first so that I can get the jump on them and CC them with my superior CC abilities. When you hear me sprint after somebody, that means you sprint with me, okay? Sometimes I won't be able to like hold the push to talk down, right? But if you see me sprinting, that means you follow in, and then I will end up telling you to like, you know, forget about it or keep going. But pretty much you want to be there so that you see what I'm doing and you're able to get the damage in. So when I sprint, you sprint. That's pretty much another very key point here. Aside from that, let's have a good time. Some of us might die. We'll try to be as equitable as possible with the loot split. Hopefully you're not using too expensive of gear. In this particular gank group that we're doing, I'm only wearing T5 and T4, so I don't expect anybody else to wear too much more than that. But hopefully we'll have a good time here, and let's go out there and do it. Alright, after you flag up, please eat your food. You might need to eat your food here. And we're going to walk this. So everyone stay off your mounts, follow me. I should be in front, and we'll go see if we can catch somebody. Yeah, you guys are perfect. Like, you're grouped right on top of each other like that. I'm in front. This is looking good right now. I should be the only one they see, and then before they run away. Now, I know other people might do ganking differently. I just generally find that walking is the best way to ensure a kill. Follow me, follow me. Okay, I got one. I linked him, he's coming back to me. I purged. Alright. There we go. Well done. The reason why we mount up, especially in the red zones after a kill, is because the death appears on the minimap, and there are many more non-hostile players than there are hostile players. So we need to be very stealthy, very guerrilla tactic-y, and you can make a determination to continue to stay dismounted longer. However, after every kill, I generally like to mount up and leave the zone entirely so that we can then get a fresh start in another zone. Yes, the blue police still exists. I mean, that's one right there, right? I think. Yeah. See, go south, go south. Okay, you guys gotta be careful here because some might get dismounted. Yeah, this is the blue police. All right, everyone just run for your lives, basically, because they're gonna be all over the place. We'll try to regroup in Carleon. Yeah, a lot of you guys are. So yeah, see, are they still around? Yes, we just got murdered by them. So I think with more practice, you guys will learn how to survive that, because you guys should be reacting without the call, even that the moment you see somebody like dismounted on the ground, right? You guys should be reacting without even me making the call to like survive. If you see people just there, it's like everyone for themselves mode. Do not die is the call. So I don't know if the people who died, like they were waiting for me to tell them what to do, but in the future, yeah, you need to just scatter and get away. Use your survival skills to know like where to turn for your particular situation. My situation, I was able to go back, then forth, and I juked them. But other people were not so lucky on that. Just make sure that that happens. When I see deaths down there, like I think to myself, the people up here probably think they're safe. All right, here we go. I got one. Pulling him back to you guys. He's gonna try to go probably south here, so just be careful. Oh wow. You know what? You guys can actually go down to that bridge down there. Wait down there, all of you. I'm gonna wait up here alone, and then if people come here, I'll just tell you guys to stay dismounted still. Yeah. If they come like, okay, I see one guy. Don't worry, don't come up here yet. I see one guy. All right, there's two now. All right, you guys can start walking up here. I'm gonna start running away a little bit. All right, kill him. Perfect bait. split up a little bit, guys. Yeah. Bait boa, dude. I mean, that's how you do it, right? Like, you pretty much have to do it that way. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, I mean, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. You can kill some of these guys. Oh, hold on, I got somebody. Maybe. Oh, okay. Hold on. I got a hook. I got a guy here. He's coming here. He's coming here. Hit him. Hit him. Nice. Purged. Yeah, he's done. Careful, he might do he might deal some big AoE. Oh, never mind. Hold on, no, back away. Everyone sprint west and mount up. Sprint west and mount up as soon as you can. Get this guy. Remember, guys, we will do a loot split here. Do a 70. Okay, we might want to... Actually, yeah, we don't want to fight that. Come down. We're going to put it in a loot split into Guild Island. So as you saw with the red zone ganking, there are some challenges that occur. When we were ganking near the Caerleon area, the first two areas we went to, we seemed to get immediately destroyed. So instead of giving up, we tried one more time to head to the Thetford region, as you all saw, and we ended up doing pretty well. We did a quick loot split amongst ourselves since we don't have a Guild Island to do the loot split in, and we just basically said if anyone looted over 200k, try to at least trade something to someone else to flatten out how much loot they got. We figured out how much loot they got by typing the average market value of our inventory into the party chat. Then we said, okay, you trade them that, you trade them that. So it's not exactly a science. It's more of like, let's try to get it as fair as we can. We're not going to get it 100%, but if you want to do this quickly during these type of loot splits, you just basically do it that way. One other thing to note, especially if you're ganking in the red zones, you open up your stats, you will see that you have a reputation line over here. The reputation line tells you what happens at various levels of reputation. We're going to focus more on the negative levels of reputation right now, though. If you get below 1,000 rep, that means you can no longer go into blue zones. If you get below 20,000 rep, that means you can't go into blue, yellow, or red zones. You would only be able to go to the black zones. Now, reputation can be seen here in the inventory details tab as well, and you can see here that there's a button for reputation change. Let's say you are unlucky and you got below 20,000. The only place you can get your reputation fixed is in the Royal Continent, so you could not go out and actually grind mobs, which is the best way to reduce your reputation if you ended up dying below 20k rep in the Royal Land. So the only way you'd get reputation back if you go below 20k is there would be a certain level of reputation change per day. The lower you are, the more this number is. Since we're not below 1,000 yet, we have 0, but if we were to go below 1,000, you'd see that I'd have some sort of reputation daily change. But the surefire way to get your rep back is 100% either solo farming mobs or getting a group together and farming together to increase the reputation in a group dungeon or even a static dungeon on the Royal Continent. Black Zone does not give you rep, only Royal Continent. One last thing to say, some of you might ask, well, when's the right time to bank when you're out ganking? Because maybe you're on a successful run, you just want to keep it going. That is up for you to decide. Generally speaking, though, you want to ask after a few kills what the estimated market value is of everybody in the party. If it seems like it's over 1 million for the size that we have, because we had some people die earlier, it's always good to secure loot often, because although ganking is a lot of fun, at the end of the day, it's only a successful gank if you actually get loot out of it. That's been my personal view on it. Yes, you can get a kill, it's great, but if you don't get the loot, then you won't be able to continue doing ganking if you're not making money. So bank often if you want, figure out what's good for you, but normally for me, when I hear at least 1 million loot among all participants, I say, okay, let's go home, secure it, and then let's go out again. So there you have it. That was some red zone ganking, some good group content. Initially, it's going to be pretty painful for everybody until everybody learns, how to follow calls, how to use their own knowledge to get away from significant gank threats, and ultimately just get their specialization up and build their builds up. It'll be a little bit tough to do this ganking, but as you can see, if you just have one person who can help make the calls initially, you guys can all grow together and hopefully make some money. Admittedly, it's probably better better to do loot splitting in terms of a central loot split area. We do not have that opportunity here, so we did not want to do that. But loot splitting is basically whatever the party lead says is what goes. And essentially, don't get discouraged if you die a lot here, because if you're new to this, you'll die a lot. And don't be afraid to change different locations. So for us, Caerleon was not working too well when we did red zone ganking initially, but then we switched to Theford, and that's when we were able to make some money there. So feel free to go out of different areas, but that is essentially the gist of group ganking. You could do this anywhere. You could do this as part of a faction flag group. You could do this in red zones. You could do it in black zones, roads, pretty much anywhere that allows more than one person to group together and take on other people. So that will be that content, and we'll move on to something else now.